Hello and welcome to our Bitesize business continuity training, brought to you by Alcumus Isoquire. This piece will guide you through ISO 22301, the business continuity standard for certification. Here are some helpful tips and tricks when considering business continuity risks to your organisation. As everyone is aware, the coronavirus pandemic is causing mayhem, especially for businesses who didn't have a suitable business continuity plan in place. It has caused economic issues as businesses are wanting to retain their cash flow and ultimately ensure that people are safe and well. The ISO 22301 has been in place for a number of years, having recently been updated and republished in 2019. ISO 22301 can provide a framework to ensure that while methods may change, business continues on. If you don't already have a business continuity plan in place, we'll cover some topics here that you may want to consider when creating and implementing one. If you already have one in place, that's great. However, how many of you have read your business continuity plan? If you have you ever wondered why identified risks might have included a pandemic? It's actually not all that common to see a business continuity plan that includes a pandemic. We're often quite familiar with issues around terrorism, emergency situations such as fire and rescue, flooding, disabling power and destroying product and infrastructure. But it's not that common to see an issue of a pandemic included. In the UK, we're somewhat lucky. We rarely see the same headlines as West Nile virus or Ebola hitting our TV screens. Some of this is due to climate, some of this is due to access to the healthcare facilities, the native flora and the fauna. There are a number of factors which could contribute. However, every year we do often experience what is known as the common flu, referencing influenza. This is also a virus and often sweeps the nation, causing many people to be absent from work, lead to further health complications, including their time frame to return to work, and unfortunately can contribute to mortality rates. In recent years, we've seen the rise of SARS, caused by the virus SARS-CoV, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, caused by other species of the coronavirus. With the recent pandemic in full swing, the issue of pandemic should be included as part of your BCP. So what sort of things would you recommend for consideration when putting a BCP together? Any risks that could result in serious complications to your day-to-day working should be considered. For example, if you work next to the River Thames or are situated on a known floodplain, it's quite possible that at some point your business might experience damage and disruption from sudden or continued flooding. It's important to note that there are many differences between a business continuity plan and a disaster recovery plan. You may have them together in one document, or you may have them separate. However, it is important that you can distinguish between the two. One deals with how you're going to keep going, how we will keep providing to our customers and clients despite the emergency or disruptive situation. The other deals with how we'll get back to business as usual once the emergency or disruption has finished. The good news is that ISO 22301 can help you think about all of these issues. As with all the Annex SL standards, it provides a framework which will help you get the most out of a bad situation. Annex SL is a structured format for all the ISO standards. This makes it much easier to integrate with other management systems or certifications that you might already have in place. There are also common clauses such as interested parties, scope, management review, and internal audits. A great way to determine risks is to employ a good risk management technique. Check out our risk management bite size for tips and tricks. Interested parties should include everyone and every organisation that can have impact on your business. That impact might be positive, think accreditation or certification bodies. It could also be negative. Think of those neighbouring businesses around you. They may represent danger to your business. Perhaps their operation could be a high risk of catching fire, or the suppliers are less financially stable than others, but are the only ones that can supply your product, raw materials, or deliver your products to your customers. If they go out of business, you may find yourself in a pickle. There are resources at your fingertips to access the kind of risks your business may be exposed to. For example, there are flood risk checkers on the government website. This can indicate how likely you are to experience flooding. Tools such as this can help you decide your infrastructure layout and steps to mitigate the impact of any risks being realised. For example, you might decide that all paper HR personnel files, IT infrastructure and financial documents live on floors should be above ground level. Another tool might be to assess what flight paths you're under. It is rare that air transportation has an accident. In fact, it is one of the safest modes of transport, but it is more common for other issues surrounding air traffic. In Luton, for example, it has been known that some residents and businesses experience the shock of bodies falling from aircrafts during landing gear activation. Unfortunately, this is often due to stowaways hitching a lift in the landing carriages of an aircraft and succumbing to the effects of the drop of temperature and oxygen reduction. Once the aircraft comes to land in Luton Airport, the landing gear is activated and, well, you can guess the rest. The emergency services need to be called for investigation, which cordons off the area, limiting traffic flows, and some can cause temporarily closed businesses while the situation is being dealt with. The weather and the effects of climate change has been a significant effect on issues surrounding pandemics and widespread ill health. Cases such as the West Nile virus and Zika virus, transmitted through mosquitoes, are often affected by sudden weather changes. As the climate grows warmer, the lifespan of mosquitoes is extended and allows for greater geographical habitation of insects. Mosquitoes will suck blood of various animals, many of which are known to carry the viruses without exhibiting any symptoms, and effectively carrying the virus across many locations to unexpected humans. Through the bite, the mosquito transfers the virus into the human, who doesn't have the ability to cope with the effects of the virus. Viruses are sneaky things that are relatively undetected by a body for a period of time, and then the human becomes ill. So to round off, you should now have an awareness of business continuity risks and have a good idea what might currently affect your business. You should also be aware of how a business continuity management system can integrate with your business seamlessly. Whether you have a management system currently in place or not, important things to note are that there are many potential risks to every business. Use as many stakeholders as you can to tease out the risks you might be facing, and you now have a few examples to work from when considering your own business continuity risks. We hope you've enjoyed this short bite and it has inspired you. Check out our other short bites, training, certification, and software solutions at alcumusgroup.com. Alternatively, you can call our offices on 0343 253 8871 and see if we can help protect you and your business. I'd like to thank you and hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.